What's going on, everybody, and welcome to JohnnyKpicks. And today I'll be breaking down all the fights for UFC 313, Pereira versus Ankalaev. First, before we get to that, please hit that like button for me and subscribe if you are new or if you just haven't. And don't forget to turn on those notifications so you know when I put out my videos every Sunday, when we go live on Wednesday nights. And if I do anything else, maybe I'll do a watch along on Saturday. Who knows? You never know. So you always want to have those notifications up and going. But last night was UFC Vegas 103, and it was a pretty good fun card. The one thing I will say, I thought Ribovix won 29-28, won rounds 2 and 3. Very close fight. That did ruin one of my bets. Could have had a better night with my bets. I did think he won that fight ever so slightly, though, but it is what it is. I wouldn't say there wasn't anything crazy other than that, but it started out slow with like 4 decisions, I believe, and then it started picking up with Pinto KO, and it just went from there. But overall, pretty good card. Like I said, for my picks, I ended up going 6-4, so nothing fantastic to brag about, but not awful. And for my bets, I did end up a winning night, but it was only plus 0.79 units. But like I said, if Ribovix got that decision win, which I did think he should have, it probably would have been about 4 units. So it is what it is. It sucks, but that's MMA for you. But overall, let's get to it. Let's get to the 11 fights we have for UFC 313. Other than Fiziev stepping in for Dan Hooker, nothing crazy. So the first fight here we got is going to be Tsuruya versus Joshua Van. In this fight, Ray, he's a very good grappler. He's got solid takedowns, good, decent wrestling. Striking is just okay, nothing crazy. He's definitely a wrestler, grappler guy. He wants to get this fight to the mat. Pretty good cardio. He's very patient, and for the takedowns and on the feet. And then we got Joshua Van, very good striker, very good boxer. He's got good boxing combinations. He always pushes forward, throws tons of volume too. He can be a little hittable sometimes, but he's very durable. He does have pretty good takedown defense, which he'll need to use it here. Obviously, this is going to be striker versus grappler. I'm going with the striker, as you probably well already know. If it's I don't think this is going to be a close fight. I shouldn't say that, but it could be. But I do think Joshua Van wins this. I think he wins by decision. I think clearly he's going to be the better striker. I think his takedown defense is good enough. Both guys are pretty young, but honestly, if you want to go with experience, I think Joshua Van has very good experience for a 23-year-old, especially in the UFC. He's winning against some high-level guys. Ray was able to beat Carlos Hernandez. I mean, that's not terrible for the first UFC debut, but Joshua Van's a pretty big step up, and I think Joshua Van gets this one done. I'll say by decision, but maybe round 3 KO, look for that, but I think he gets this one done by decision. Pretty confident in this one, but should be an interesting fight. See what happens. Next one we got, it's going to be Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev, and Blaydes is we always say this, but he's a good wrestler with good takedowns, but he hasn't really wrestled in a while. But he does have very good striking with good boxing, good power. The only thing with him nowadays is his chin looks like it's a little dusty. I know a lot of guys he's getting knocked out to are very powerful strikers, but he's been knocked out 5 times in all 5 of his losses. That's not really what you want to see, but overall, very good fighter. Kuniev's making his UFC debut. His striking is okay. He does have pretty good power for a heavyweight. He's not very technical, though. Loopy shots. He can wrestle and grapple. He does prefer to push people up against the cage, wear his opponents down that way, use elbows, knees, all that good stuff. But he can go for takedowns and get you down too. I'm going to go Curtis Blaydes. I do worry about that chin because not to say that Kuniev is some kind of crazy at Tom Aspinall striker, but I think it just takes one to maybe knock out Blaydes. But if we're looking at it other than that, I think Blaydes should win this fight. He's a more technical striker. I think he's the better wrestler. He has good enough takedown defense to stay on the feet. Another thing that could worry me is Kuniev gets him up against the cage and doesn't let him do anything. but I don't think that's going to happen because Jailton Almeida tried to do that, and look what happened. He got the KO with his elbows. So not to say that's going to happen in this fight, but he knows what to do. I think Blaydes has more experience. Obviously, he fought the better competition. I just worry about the chin. That's the only thing. I would be running to the betting window if one, the price was better, and two, Curtis Blaydes' chin wasn't as chinny. So give me Blaydes to win. I can see a late knockout again, or I can see a decision win for him. So probably going to stay away from this fight unless the over 1.5. It's set up. The over under is set at 1.5. I might look at the over, but we'll see what happens. Maybe tons of money comes in on Kuniev, and maybe Blaydes by KO could be a potential sneaky look. We'll see. Next one here is going to be Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. Santos is a very good striker. He's got good power in his hands. He has a good takedown defense, good volume too. In one of his losses, I was able to go see that in the LFA. And the only reason why basically he lost is because Argueta just chain wrestled him all fight. And he just couldn't keep up with it. But other than that, he was looking good on the feet. And but he looked good in his debut against Awfully. So that's something to look at there. But we got Francis Marshall. He's a well-rounded guy himself. He's got good striking, good grappling. His takedowns are just okay. He's pretty durable. He is a little hittable on the feet though, but he will probably have the grappling edge here. I don't think he's going to have the striking edge. That's Santos all day. And I do think Santos's takedown defense is good enough to stop the majority of Francis's takedowns at least. So give me Santos to win again. I think this goes to decision. Could there be a Santos KO? Of course, but Marshall's pretty durable, and maybe he gets some of that wrestling and grappling going too, and maybe that extends this fight a little bit. So maybe you can look at the overs in this one, but I do think Santos wins this one. I think he's a little bit better right now in both of their careers. I know they're both 24, 25, but I like what I see more from Santos, and I think he's the more dangerous fighter too. So Santos by decision. That's what I'm going to go with. Next one we got, it's going to be Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Morono, well-rounded guy, solid striking. He can be a little loopy with his strikes at times. He doesn't really throw anything straight right down the middle. He does have some grappling he can use. He does have he likes to jump guillotines a lot. He doesn't mind playing off his back if he is taken down, but he does have okay cardio, okay, pretty good volume, likes to push forward, but we have seen him slow down in some of the fights in the third round. But I want to say most of the time, if that happens, he took the fights on short notice. This guy likes to take any fight at any time, but he is pretty durable. Carlos Leal, good striking with power. He can be countered if he's a little too aggressive. He always likes to push forward. Good leg kicks, good powerful leg kicks. He is durable, pretty good cardio. He looked very good against Renat on short notice. And if he looks like that in this fight, he will win this fight. I actually thought Carlos might have won that fight. Maybe he should have won that fight. But give me Carlos to win. I'll say again, I could see a late finish third round if Morono slows down, but Morono's pretty durable. But Carlos does have power to knock him out. But I'm going to go decision. I think it's going to go to decision, maybe a late finish for Carlos. I like what I see a little bit more. I don't think this fight goes to the mat. If it does, it won't be for too long. But give me Carlos. I like him. I think he's more technical on the feet. I also think he's more dangerous too. So next one here is interesting, if you want to say. Ozzy Diaz versus Jordan Santos. And Diaz, solid striker. He can grapple if need be, but he's probably more so wants to keep it on the feet. He is pretty hittable though as well when he's on the feet, but he's dangerous though. And durability for me is the number one issue with him. I know in his UFC debut at light heavyweight, he got knocked out pretty quickly against Zhang, so I'm a little worried about that chin. But he is moving down to middleweight for this fight, and I think that's where he normally fights at anyway. So it might be a better fit for him, if you want to say. And then we got Santos, who's making his UFC debut. He's a well-rounded guy. Doesn't really do anything amazing, but he's just okay. Okay striking, pretty good grappling, okay takedowns, good takedown defense. Like he's just a solid, well-rounded guy. He doesn't really have flashy striking or anything. I mean, he's got 3 KOs, 4 submissions on his career. I'm going Santos because I just think he's the better grappler and wrestler, and I do think he's going to be able to get Diaz down eventually if he shoots on the feet. I mean, I think it's close actually. Maybe Diaz is a little bit more dangerous, but I just don't trust the chin of Diaz, and I think Santos could potentially crack it and maybe get a KO. But I think it goes to decision. I'm going to say Santos wins. Not betting this fight. Don't trust it. I want to see more from Santos. If I wanted to bet him, I don't want to bet Diaz pretty much in any fight. But I also said that about Cody Brundage last week, and he won, and I bet him. So never say never, I guess. But as of now, I'm probably never going to bet Ozzy Diaz to win a fight in the UFC. So, but give me Santos to win. I'm going to go decision again, even though I'm saying all decisions in this card because a lot of interesting fights, but I can see a sub. You know what? Let's just do Santos by sub just to switch it up, but I'll probably switch that around. Next fight, Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. Bruno, powerful striker, heavy hands, can be a little low volume at times. He has good counters. He has a good check left hook. He doesn't really wrestle and grapple too much, but he does have powerful takedowns. Very strong. He can be hittable on the feet, but he's very durable. Cardio, okay. Pretty good guy, fighter. And then we got Petrosyan, very good kickboxer. He throws tons of volume, throws kicks, good leg kicks, good kicks in general, body kicks. Takedown defense isn't the greatest, though, but he does have a pretty good get-up game, good submission defense. He's going to be pushing forward. He's going to be right in front of your face. Just looking to throw way more volume, and that's the style. Yeah, this is a close fight. I can see go either way. I think it should be closer to a pick'em. I think it has been some money coming in on Bruno. But I'm gonna go Petrosyan still. He looked very good against Shara. I gotta give him credit. He looked very good against Shara for the first 2 rounds, and he probably won those 2 rounds until the double spinning back fist, which is crazy because I don't think I've ever seen that in any MMA. And I don't think it's gonna. But Bruno can do it. He's got a spinning elbow, KO, flying knees. He has all of that stuff too. But I don't think it's going to happen again for Armen. I don't think he's going to get knocked out. And I think that's Bruno's path to victory here. He needs a finish to win. I don't think he's going to be able to win a decision. Armen's probably going to win a decision. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Bruno. So Armen decision or Bruno KO finish. But I'm going to lean Armen by decision. You can also look at the Bruno plus 3.5 spread if he's still the dog when that line comes out. I think that's a very good bet personally. Like I said, I don't think Armen's going to be able to finish Bruno, and I think Bruno can win at least 1 round, maybe the early round, like round 1 or 2, and that's all you need to win that bet. So, but for my pick, give me Armen to win by decision. We'll see what happens. Main event or main card. I always say main event instead of main card. Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes, and Jalen Turner, dangerous striker. He has tons of power in his hands. He does have sneaky submissions for club and subs. He doesn't really grapple that way for submissions. Solid takedown defense. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. Mainly after a round or round and a half, he kind of slows down a bit. Doesn't really throw a lot of volume. Kind of backs up instead of like stalks his prey. That's what he kind of does early on. But very dangerous, like I said, as always. And then we have Bahamondes, who's also a very good striker. He throws tons of volume, good kicks, good leg kicks. He does have good high kicks, obviously, as he beat Roosevelt Roberts that way. Good takedown defense, sneaky submissions too. He doesn't really wrestle grapple that way, but he can wrap up a Darce choke or something like that. Little hittable on the feet sometimes, but he's very durable, very good cardio for 3 rounds too. So this fight's a pick 'em for a reason. I think it's a very close one, but my gut says Bahamondes gets this done by decision or maybe a late finish 3rd round. I think he's going to be able to survive the first round for Jalen. That's going to be Jalen's, go-to round. He's very dangerous, but like I said, he does slow down a little bit. His power kind of doesn't go for 3 rounds, and I think that's when Bahamondes picks it up with his pace, with his volume, and he wins it that way by decision, I'll say, again, but wouldn't be shocked if he lands a crazy high kick again and knocks out Jalen in the 3rd round. Jalen, I don't want to say Jalen quits, but he does slow down a lot, and it's not a good look. So Bahamondes for me by decision. I like it. Next one, King Bobby Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. And Bobby Green, high volume striker, quick hands, good jab. Can be a little hittable sometimes, though, with his hands being low. He likes to use his head movement for striking defense instead of keeping his hands up. He can wrestle, but he never does. But he is pretty durable. I know he's been knocked out against Jalen Turner, but normally he is very durable. Ruffy, also very good striker with power, has crazy kicks, crazy fast hands. He's very patient. He waits to pick his shot to get to land that one, clearly his one-shot nickname knockout. He does slow down a little bit as the fight goes on, as we saw in his last fight against James Lontop. He looked very good early and then kind of slowed down, and then James was able to build some momentum, make the fight a little bit closer than a lot of people thought it would be. And James was able to survive 2 or 3 very good shots, though, I will say, but he made it very close. And that's what worries me in this fight, because I think this fight could end up playing out close. Bobby Green's a good striker, very experienced. This could be probably is Ruffy's toughest test yet. And I don't understand why the lines are this wide. I'm picking Ruffy, though. I think he's more explosive. I think he's more dangerous. But it does worry me the longer the fight goes. I think Bobby can build as the fight goes on. And I think if this fight gets to round 3, I think Bobby wins round 3 for sure. Ruffy probably wins round 1, so it really depends on who you think is going to win round 2. I don't see a finish, but if there is, it's probably on the Ruffy side. But give me Ruffy to win. I'm going to say by decision again, because I think Bobby Green's going to be able to survive and not get KO'd. But if he does get KO'd, probably first round KO. I don't think it'll be like second or third, but I think the fight might be close. Look at Bobby Green plus 3.5 spread. I think he wins 1 round for sure. Just got to hope he doesn't get KO'd. I think that line should be pretty good. If he's a plus 420 underdog, it's probably going to be plus 200 range or so. We'll see. But give me Ruffy to win by decision. Not very confident, though. I'll tell you that. Next one, Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. And Lemos, powerful striker, good takedown defense. She does have some sneaky submissions that she can use. Good chokes, front chokes. She can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on with her volume and the power a little bit. Sometimes she does put herself in some bad spots, like on the mat, but she is very durable and has the better experience, fought the better competition in this fight or in the UFC. She is a little older. She's 37 now. But we have Lucindo here, who's a young fighter, up and coming. She's 23, very solid striker, good power in her hands. She has good combos, good volume. She can wrestle, grapple if need be. She can be a little hittable on the feet at times. She does entertain being in brawls, which I don't think she should do that in this fight, because I do think Lemos would win the brawl. Okay, takedown defense, but she is improving. I will say, though, the fight against Marina Rodriguez was very close. And maybe she might not have won that fight. And I do think this fight will probably go to decision yet again. But if there is going to be a finish, I'm going to say it's going to be on the Amanda Lemos side. I think if it goes to decision, it will be very close. So I'm going to go with the dog here, who has more experience, who's fought the better competition, who can land the more powerful shots. And I'm going to go with Lemos to win. Lucindo is very capable of winning this fight. I think she's going to have to grapple a little bit, not just strike for 3 rounds. Otherwise, I think she's going to be losing the moments, because Lemos will be probably landing the harder shots. And I don't fully trust Lucindo's striking defense to survive for 3 rounds for that. But we have seen Lucindo, she's very durable. So, but young, improving. We'll see what happens, but I think Lemos is a finished product right now. If you're going to tell me, listen, if they would have fought maybe a year or two later, obviously Lemos is going to go down a little bit with her talent, and then Lucindo will be going up. So I'd probably pick Lucindo. But right now, I think Lemos gets this done. It's going to be close, but we'll see. Co-main event, the new co-main is going to be Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And Gaethje, we all know both these guys. Very good striker. Likes to push forward. He's got good boxing, good high leg kicks. Can be a little wild sometimes, and a little hittable. But he does have pretty good cardio, pretty good durability as well. I know he was flatlined in the crazy Max Holloway knockout with 1 second left in the 5th round. But other than that, he's pretty durable. And I'm going to say that's just going to be a little one-off one. I'm not too much worried about his chin, like, let's say, a Julian Marquez or something like that, who got knocked out for the 4th time in a row. But Fiziev, very good striker, very good kickboxer. He got good power in his hands and kicks. Very durable, very tough, good takedown defense. But as the fight goes on, he can slow down a little bit with his volume. He's not going to gas out or anything like that. He's going to survive. And they have fought before. And very close fight. I think in that fight, I honestly thought Fiziev won, but it was a majority decision for Gaethje. I'm worried about Fiziev here because of the leg injury that he suffered against Gamrot. It was a pretty bad one. It wasn't something minor. He hasn't fought in a year and a half. He's taken this fight on short notice. I got to go Gaethje in this one. He's the underdog. I'm kind of shocked he is. I thought he probably would have started out as like a minus 150 favorite, but it was the other way around. So this fight will probably end up a pick 'em by fight or fight night. But I got to go Gaethje here. And I went Fiziev last fight, but I'm going to go Gaethje in this one. I usually don't do that, but I am. I just don't fully trust if Fiziev is ready to go to fight Gaethje on short notice when he just had a crazy knee injury. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's not 100%. Gaethje, I think the chin is still there. It was just kind of a crazy one-off situation with Max Holloway. And he did take a pretty decent amount of damage that whole 5 rounds until that time. So maybe all that damage leading up to that last 1 second, he couldn't fully survive that one. So, but give me Gaethje to win by decision. Again, I think this is going to be a fun fight. Both guys are durable, and you can maybe look at the overs, but I think Gaethje gets this one done. Main event time. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. And Pereira, very, very good kickboxer. As we all know, he has a crazy death touch left hook that will knock anybody out in the UFC. He's got nasty leg kicks. He has shown better takedown defense as of late. Anyone who's trying to take him down. Yeah, good cardio. He can probably go all 5 rounds. He's got power for all 5 rounds. Tough to hit. Striking defense is pretty good. But Ankalaev, he's a solid striker himself. He does have some power. I wouldn't say it's crazy power to like one-shot knockout power. Good leg kicks himself, but with the leg kicks coming back at him, he does not check them, which could be a crucial part in this fight, or could play a crucial part. Sometimes he could be a little low volume too, but he can wrestle. But I think his wrestling he uses if he has trouble on the feet. I do think Ankalaev is going to test the striking early. If he's not successful, he'll probably start shooting takedowns. Can he get Pereira down? I think he could. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything with it. He didn't really do anything with it against Jan. He was more so just lay and pray almost, if you want to say. But Jan was chewing up the legs early. And I think Pereira is going to probably do the same here. I worry for Magomed because of that. So give me Pereira to win by knockout. I think he gets a knockout in rounds 2, 3, or 4. I'll say round 3 if I had to choose a round. I think it gets to round 2. But I think the accumulation of damage that Magomed's going to be getting is going to play a part here. And Pereira is going to get that KO. Ankalaev probably wins a decision if he does win with the wrestling. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it for 5 rounds without getting knocked out. That's the problem. So give me the champ, and still Alex Pereira round 3 KO. But all right, guys, that is it. 11 fights. I got this done real quick. Look at me, 25 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Wednesday night is Defend Your Units. As always, I'll have a special guest, maybe super special guest. We shall see. I don't want to ruin anything if it doesn't work out that way. But either way, I'm going to have a special guest. Also, if you haven't already, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. I put out all my UFC content there, early stuff like bets, picks, UFC cheat sheets. I'm also doing UFC Survivor Pool as well. Right now, I think we have 2 or 3 people left. So if you want to join a UFC Survivor Pool, it's for free. You can become a member for $5.99 a month, or you can just become a free member and play. So there's a prize at the end. So it's all fun. Everybody's having fun. So we have a pretty good turnout. So definitely check that out. And again, thank you for watching. Good luck on your picks. Good luck on your bets. And until next time, happy fight night.